Hey guys, it's Ty, and welcome back to my channel where I inform you, educate you, and inspire you. So with that being said, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, you guys. It is currently Thursday, March 10th, and it's 1:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that being said, welcome. If you're returning, make sure you are, having your notifications on. So thank you so much for being subscribed and being patient. This water is cold, you guys, like really cold to the point where it hurts my teeth. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I am a spiritual healer, intuitive leader, inspirational teacher. So that being said, I suggest and advise information on this channel. I do not tell you what to do or how to feel. I speak from a place of experience, what has helped me along my journey, good and bad, pros and cons, self-reflections, being accountable, exposures and opportunities, and just being another human being, just like everybody else here on this earth. With that being said, there's no right or wrong way to live your life. Everything is a choice, and the choice is yours. So suffering is a choice, healing is a choice. So on this channel, because I suggest and advise, I educate you guys and I inform you guys. So I don't speak from a place of opinion. I like to give you guys factual information from natural resources, such as a dictionary, a thesaurus, going outside, traveling, work experience, relationship experience, as well as educating you guys. So using books, using magazines, interacting with conversations and perspectives. So that being said, make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram and Twitter at Ty_guidance. All of that information will be down in the description box below. And if you guys see me look around, once again, the camera that I'm recording off of is a blank black screen, so I don't get to see the video until after it's posted. So if my little hair pieces are one way or my lipstick is another, it's okay. I come on here, I'm myself, I'm authentic. It takes a lot for me to be me in real life, meaning that just because I post stuff on the internet doesn't mean that I have an image or I'm just who I am. Okay, like how I am, how I'm talking to you guys, this is real deal, this is me, how I look like in real life. And it's not to say I don't care about myself, but people go through things, and because I'm a real person, I'm not afraid of, I have a lot of courage. It takes a lot to come on here, with me. I have a skin infection, that's why I have this ring around my face, as well as having my hair done and just going through things and like being honest. So on this channel, because I'm speaking from a place of experience, I don't know everything, you guys. I don't need to think I know everything, and I'm not one of those type of people who are not teachable, meaning if somebody tells me something, I always tell you guys as well as myself to use your discernment, because when people are speaking to you, it's for a reason. A lot of people do not realize why people are speaking to them and how people can help them, because a lot of people are very egotistic or they hear from their flesh. I'm a spiritual being who possesses a soul inside a physical body. I'm not worried about the ego or anything 3D. So anything physical or material or actual bodies. I know that it is spirit, source, the divine, who has say in what and does. And just because I have these beliefs, I don't force that on people. So just because I have a certain background and just because I do certain things, I don't force that onto people. I suggest and advise. So you choosing to watch these videos is for you. Information, if it resonates, it's going to resonate. If it doesn't, continue to live your life, because there are 7 billion people in the world. So for today's video, we're going to go over and discuss what inspires you to be the best version of yourself. So once again, because I'm speaking from a place of experience and wisdom, if I don't know, and I have been through a lot just like everybody else, inspiring and inspiration is going to be different. Everyone lives their life accordingly. So in the world, everyone does not have the same geographic, emotional support, mentally, financially, resources, because everyone in the world is not the same. So for me, I was born and raised in New York City. I lived in 7 different states. I traveled to 22 different states, and I've been outside of more than 7 different countries. So for my exposure, I've traveled. I've had a job since I was 17 years old. For the first, I will say 16 years of my life, I had both of my parents in my life, and I will consider my parents middle-class people. The background that I have, and just living life just like everybody else on this planet. Like, everybody has the same 24 hours. Everyone doesn't have the same resources because everyone doesn't have the same environment. And knowing that just because you don't have the same resources and the tools or the finances than other people doesn't mean that it's not possible. It comes to your beliefs and limiting yourself. It's all going to be based off of your mind. So what inspires you to be the best version of yourself is what you're willing to understand, what you've gone through, where you are, and where you want to be. Like, being the best version of yourself and what's going to inspire you is a different perspective. Like, listening to understand. I'm so big when it comes to communication, you guys. Like, I've been doing this for a while, and I've been communicating for a while. And when it comes to being a healer, understanding that you're not gonna know everything. Like, I don't know everything. I only know what I've gone through. That's why I can suggest and advise. And I speak very well because this is my real life. Like, I'm not coming on here and just telling you to quit your job, to start a business, to sound good. I'm not talking about mental health as a trend. I'm not making a podcast. This is real deal, everyday life. Like, your mental health, you being the spiritual chosen inner child, you've been like that since you were a child. Like ever since you came, literally as you were being born, as you were a fetus, that's what that magical dusty land of bubblegum and roses for. That's why the baby has to sit and marinate. Like when you're cooking something, your food has to marinate. If you know how to cook, you know, I like to cook, you guys, you got to add your seasoning, you got to preheat the oven. Like that's the same thing when it comes to being the best version of yourself. You are born exactly who you're meant to be. So in the world, there are masculine and feminine energy, because at the end of the day, everyone is women before they're men. Men are semen, okay? And that's why there's masculine and feminine. So the male and the woman, the genders, there are going to be men who have more in their their feminine energy or their masculine energy, and you have women who are more masculine in their feminine energy. It's about balance. So understanding that just because you have gone through certain things in your life, or just because you're not where you need to be, or just because you don't have what you want to have, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It's all about your belief system. So if you're not able to understand and listen to people when they're talking to you, you're not going to realize, you know, one, that it's more to life and that you can do what other people are doing. Like what inspires you to be the best version of yourself is the perspective and understanding that your mindset is going to, one, also affect, you know, your results and how you go about these situations. So something that I've realized and what has helped me along my journey when it comes to inspiring myself to be the best version of myself is having mentors, looking up to people who are doing things that I want to do, and surrounding myself with people who are willing to, one, interpret information and process information similar in the same way. Like everyone in life is not going to interpret information or process information. So last year, strategically and specifically on my channel, I would read words from the dictionary, and anybody could read words from the dictionary and break it down, because once again, you guys, a lot of people are so content with physical material items. Like learning to detach yourself from any and everything. If you're only born with a physical body, that's what I said, I'm just a spirit, I'm not my body. Like I'm not tied. That's a label. That's an attachment. Being the best version of yourself is accepting that this is a spiritual world. Everything is spiritual, meaning if it's not physical or material, everything is of spirit, meaning of source, of life, of energy. That, you know, at the end of the day, your experience in life and these opportunities that you have are going to be based off of your decisions. So inspiring you to be best version of yourself, like I said, me reading the words from the dictionary, not being so content with certain words that you hear, not being so content with certain actions and descriptions, because every word is a sentence with letters that is created to project and pronounce sound, meaning as I'm speaking right now, the words that are coming out of my mouth, okay? Realizing how they affect you, what it means to you, and processing the information. Like it's okay to learn from other people. It's okay to make decisions that you're not proud of, as long as you're able to acknowledge, as long as you're able to accept, as long as you're able to adapt, and as long as you're able to take action. Like when it comes to understanding your life, a lot of people don't realize you have to start from the root. And a lot of people, like I said, have been dealing with trauma, suffering, PTSD, OCD, ADD, like all of that. Once again, labels, attachments. We as people design, and we as human beings, we're very gifted people. And once again, it goes back to our history, like being here, being born, like it's so much bigger in our purposes. So being the best version of yourself, what I want to suggest and advise you guys is just really taking the time to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. If I come on here, you guys, and I have my headband, I have my face breaking out, and I can sit here and I can be honest with myself. I can sit here and acknowledge that what I've gone through in my past is the reason why I'm here right now. This is the reason why I have to do the things that I'm having to do. Accepting it. Acknowledge it. It's okay. If you get into a car accident and you didn't know how to drive and your body's hurt, feel how you feel. Like when it comes to you being the best version of yourself, you have to be honest. You have to let your emotions be what they are. So I want to suggest and advise is allowing your emotions to be what they are. If you're angry, if you're miserable, if you're broke, if you're broken, if regardless of what you're going through is not making you feel good about yourself, allow your emotions to be just that. Like you cannot heal in the same day. If it takes 9 months for a baby fetus to turn into an actual baby, and then, you know, from life physically in the physical world, because you're no longer, you know, in that room, why would it not take you some time to understand that, you know what, you've probably been suffering? Because once again, mental health, it shouldn't have taken a pandemic for people to realize that mentally a lot of people are emotionally tapped out. That's something that you should do as a child, okay? And once again, because everyone doesn't have these opportunities, and I live in America, that's why I'm talking my ish, because it's a lot of division, it's a lot of corruption, especially all over the world. Like I said, I've traveled outside of America, my actual family, you know, their bloodline, and then just my experiences. And it's not to knock America, because everywhere in life, everything in life, you're going to have pros and cons. Things are going to be good, things are going to be bad. It's about perspective. So what inspires you to be the best version of yourself, It's taking time. Understanding that your mindset, once again, is going to be a part of your decisions as well as your attitude. Learning that becoming the best version of yourself and what inspires you is understanding, what it is that you want. Being true to yourself. Understanding, what you like about yourself. So for those of you who are returning, you guys already know, I tell you guys all the time to go ahead and get yourself a notebook. And for those of you who are just watching, if you choose to be here, because once again, this is a very honest channel. Like, I have no intentions to hold my tongue. If if it resonates, if it doesn't apply, you shouldn't, be watching energy or paying attention to people you don't want to be like. If somebody says something to you and it's not true, you don't have to listen to it. Just because people say stuff to you doesn't mean that you have to believe it. Life is about how you feel. But a lot of people, if you're not able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture and realize it's the reason why things are being said, what could people do or what could people say? If you know everything, you know everything. Like me, I know I don't know everything. I love learning. I learn something new every single day. I love talking to people. I love being teachable because it's so much to life. And just because you're not where you need to be doesn't mean that you can't get there. So I told my subscribers to get a notebook and start to write down some pros and some cons. Like, take some time to yourself. Like, how do you want to hear yourself, but you can't be alone to get to know yourself? I had to isolate myself physically for a year. Like, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I've been isolated. I've been detached since maybe 19 years old. So since 2016, that's when I turned 19. I've been detached from a lot of things. But really physically isolated myself, not being around people, staying to myself for a year, not having, the physical material things that I used to have, and feeling worthy or less than because I don't have these certain things. Like, getting to know yourself will actually help you understand what inspires you to be the best version of yourself. If you can't write down what you like and what you dislike, how are you going to know what you want in a partner? How are you going to know what you want in a business? How are you going to know what you want for yourself? Like, people taking the time and not allowing your personal needs in your flesh. Like, because I'm a spiritual being who possesses a soul inside of the flesh, I know that, for example, like, when people say stuff, I'm not going to sit here and be offended. I'm not going to sit here and take everything personally, because everything in life does not need to be taken personal. Like, you decide when and what is going to be personal. And what I mean by that, just because, like I said, if people are suggesting, advising information and it's not for you, it's not helping you, like, if it's not helping you, informing you, and educating you, which is constructive criticism, because it doesn't have to be bad, you don't have to listen to it. If somebody's just telling you something just from a place of opinion and they're not trying to better themselves, or they're not trying to better you, you don't have to sit here and condone the energy. But when someone's suggesting, advising information to you to better you, listen. A lot of people don't want to listen until they get to certain situations and then they're upset, or people watch other people do what other people are doing instead of taking the action to do so. What inspires you to be the best version of yourself is for you. I'm just here as a messenger, because that's all I am. I'm just a spirit. I'm just a vessel, just like everybody else on this realm right now. Experience life as a time traveler and understand what it is that's going to work for you. Like I said, this channel is not going to be for everybody. I'm not for everybody. I don't like everyone. I'm not supposed to like everyone. I like the people that are connected towards me. I have genuine intentions. I don't project my insecurities. I don't try to be something that I'm not, because, like I said, YouTube, the internet, that's all it is. Like, when people say social media this, no, social media is just the internet. It's just an app. People are behind social media. People are, excuse me, guys. Like I said, I can't even see. It's a crack. People are behind these apps. People are social media. So it's not social media, it's people. Like, people control social media. People control apps. People make phones. People build buildings. Like, a lot of people, one thing I want to suggest and advise when it comes to being the best version of yourself, or what's going to inspire you, is to take a step back. Take a step back. Like, I had to do a lot of what people say shadow work, even though it's not shadow work, because, once again, I've been alive since the 90s. So ever since I've been alive, I've been experiencing life, the past, the present, and the future. The time, okay, to be very honest, time is real to a certain extent. So just because we all know the world is corrupt and a lot of things are backwards and lied to, with every lie there is some truth. So, like, the same thing with the Bible. Like, there are some lies, there's some truth. The time is some lies, there's some truth. How you are able to interpret and get to these realities and understand is for you. But when you are trying to be the best version of yourself and what's going to inspire you, being real with yourself. Like, how I come on here, like, when I first started, when I was 22 years old, I was in a really abusive relationship. That was my one and only toxic abusive relationship that I experienced, that I had never been in. And I had experienced that. I suffered from that. I had my own apartment. Like I said, I've been working since I was 17. I moved out at 21 at the time. I had my own apartment, my own car. I met someone, ended up being in a relationship. losing myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, going through things because I've gone through things in life that I didn't have the emotional intelligence, and not knowing my worth. Like, what inspires you to be the best version of yourself is knowing. Like, you have to know. Like, it's not an act. I don't come on here acting like I'm better than or less than. Like, I can only speak from a place of experience, because what else am I going to talk about? I don't just talk for no reason. I know a lot of people like to talk and make stories. I'm not a storyteller. I'm not an actress and actors. That's what the entertainment industry is for. The illusions, movies, all that stuff, you know, if that's good for them, but that, you know, like being real to yourself, that's going to inspire you to be the best version of yourself, and understanding that, you know, whatever you want to do is going to be for you. Like, realizing the decisions I made is the reason why I am right now, and not being afraid of it. Like, when I was depressed, you know, I realized I used to groom myself. Like, I've always had my hair done. I've always been that girl to have my nails done. I stopped doing that stuff because I didn't feel good. It's not because of other people. And knowing that, like, me coming on here being depressed and me wearing the clothes that I have, and, you know, moving and going through what I go through, nobody knows what I go through on the internet. So it's just like, whatever people want to have, the image, whatever people want to say, let them do what they need to do. Like, that has nothing to do with me. Not worrying about people, places, and things. That's not going to inspire you to be. If I listen to people around me, I would be like them. I don't want to be miserable. I think a lot of people are miserable. That's my opinion, you guys. And this is why I don't like to speak for my opinion. I like to give you guys factual information. But I'm entitled to say that. And I'm saying that with my chest. I say what I say with my opinion, because I am opinionated. I am going to say things with my chest because I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I don't sit here and project that onto people. Like, if it's not brought to my attention to say something, I'm not just going to give my opinion. But this is my platform for certain people to feel comfortable and understanding it's okay. Anybody who chooses to watch these channels, okay, if you're not aligned, why are you here? You people focus on people, places, and things that are not for them, and they wonder why they're not inspired. Being the best version of yourself is being real with yourself. Like I said, when I was depressed and I didn't feel like grooming my hair and I didn't feel like ironing my clothes, that was for me. It's not for other people. Of course people are going to talk. Of course I put myself on the internet, not for people to talk about me, or not for people to be in my business, or to like think I know everything, but to be vulnerable. It's unfortunate that we live in a society where you can't be vulnerable. Like, who cares? I don't care what people think. I never did. And if I did, I would never be where I am right now, or who I really am. So being the best version of yourself is knowing who you are and doing what works best for you. That's why I suggest and advise information. Like, I don't tell people what to do, because you can't tell people what to do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Shout out to Mr. Gill. Okay? So just keep in mind that when it comes to, you know, understanding yourself, you want to practice, you want to understand what you've gone through. And if you don't have the resources and the tools and opportunities, that you don't limit yourself, you find ways. So this month, just like every other month, strategically and specifically, I'm just going to continue to do that and help you guys. Anybody who, you know, supports me, shout out to Eric Thomas and Harriet Tubman. They're like my mentors. I'm like Eric Thomas and Harriet Tubman. One band, one sound. You either with it or you get left, or you continue to watch. At the end of the day, watching people that's not going to help you is not going to get you to where you need to be. Anybody who supports me, or we get somewhere, because I support myself. I believe in myself. I believe in myself, and I believe in you all. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Live your life, and don't forget to say hello.